Good morning. I wanted to get on here and do kind of a brief update, see how everybody's doing, talk about a few things, and I'll let people kind of jump on. I hope you guys are having a good Monday. And I kind of want to address a few things. Obviously, I want to talk about some of the stuff that I'm seeing across the state, also, social media and, what we can learn from these experiences and how we can use them to our advantage. And so I'll kind of let people jump on here. If you guys can see me, please let me know. That's what kind of helps drive this thing out. So I hope you guys had a good weekend. It rained. It was probably good for the hunters. It wasn't necessarily great. I just relaxed. I did an event on Saturday at Cabela's and then, was able to relax yesterday. And so I spent a lot of time kind of looking at where we're at. I did a lot of watching of videos, and part of like a kind of a scary trend that I'm seeing is the way, the information's being manipulated, and what's happening is they're trying to, change this thing. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Hey Jeff, and if you guys can see me, let me know, please. That's what kind of gets this thing out. So, things that I want us to kind of be aware of is how the other side is using the information. They're using the crisis. They're using, old data. They're doing everything they can to manipulate this situation. I think it's really, really dangerous for us as gun owners. And so if we can fight back by kind of manipulating back. So we can take their videos, we can chop them up, we can put them in our circles, and this is a way obviously we can bring notoriety to the bad data. We can also use it in like a meme type purpose. I think there's a lot of value to memes. We try not to share them here just because of, we could spend all day looking at memes, and it really kind of defeats the whole purpose of what we're trying to do. And so just things to think about. And so in this situation that I'm seeing with all these different videos is we have to look at how the way they're trying to appeal to a younger demographic, which is really, really scary. Our my generation, the generation directly after me, are probably the last generation of free thinkers. And so what I mean by that is we are the last generation in the country, for the most part, and this is a generalization, that use critical thinking skills. Okay. And you'll see the youngest generations, the Gen Zs, there's a lot of group thought. There's a lot of manipulation that they can be done by either social media, big tech, their friends, you know what I mean? So it's really not popular to be able to stand on their own and share their own ideas. And so, that's something that we have to be aware of. That's what these videos that I shared yesterday, that's what they're designed to do. What they're designed to do is to, they're going after a select demographic to try to get them. These could be potential 18-year-olds, first time voters. And so that's what's really, really dangerous is, these people, will go to great lengths to make sure, this is a great point, Kyle. Give me 1 second. I'll get to it. And so, what they're going to do is they don't value independent thought. And so and they kind of forsake individual rights. And the video that I shared yesterday from that young girl that talked about bulletproof vests, we're looking at the tea leaves. That's something they're going to go after next. Okay. They don't want us to be able to defend ourselves. They don't want us to be able to defend our families. And so they are putting everything in the messaging of these videos. So if you pay attention to what that looks like, it's very, very pointed, very, very slanted, and it's designed to do one thing: it's to demonize lawful behavior. It's also force compliance, and we have to rely on the government to save our lives. You can't save yourself in that situation. Only the government can do that by passing new laws. That's like the gist of what that video was about yesterday. And so, the whole thing with communist Marxism, that's a real thing that is happening. We can see it with what's happening with the pro-Palestinian movement, with Hamas. It's starting to pick up steam. And so we got to be aware of that, because when it picks up steam, there's a lot of negative emotions associated. There's also a lot of fear and bad information that is spread through these, but it also creates the network. The network is the catalyst for them to affect this change. And so that's where we have to be aware of this stuff, and we have to know, what's truly what they're trying to do here. And so that's why I put those videos in. All I did is I found the video. I was able to doctor it and modify it to make my own. I was able to add, my own sounds to it. I also added a text so people could read along. You know what I mean? So, if there's any interest for you guys, like to learn how to do this stuff, I would love to be able to teach you guys. That way, you guys can make your own unique videos. That way, you guys can have them outside of the group. You guys can also share them with in your circles. So if that's something that we want to tackle, I'd be willing to do that. There's some great apps that I use, and what I can do. I have the ability where if I find a video, I can record it on my phone, so I can screen record it, and then I can edit, and then I put it in a different app, and I can do all these different things to it. It's really, really easy to do. I can literally do something like that in 10 to 15 minutes, and then I have something that I can share. I mean, I could look at my analytics for yesterday with those videos. One of them 3,000 in reach, other one 2,500 in reach. You know what I mean? And lots of comments. Lots of laughing emojis, which is great because that was the intention. It was meant to entertain, but it's meant to shine the light on what we're looking at here. And so, I try to be, when I'm sharing these videos, I'm trying to put it in a way where it's kind of sarcasm, but it's a real thing. It's something that we have to be aware of. Okay. And so this is where, thank you guys for tuning in. It's kind of quiet out there. I don't know if I'm getting any comments or not. I see 2 comments. I don't know what's happening. You guys are just watching or not. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, but this is, you know, the, the next phase of this stuff, right? The next phase, short session, Oregon legislature. And so that's where it's going to be really, really critical that we're able to jump on these little messages and be able to share them in our circles. Hi, Teresa. Thanks for tuning in. And so that's where, I'm trying to make sure that you keep everything in front of us. I haven't seen any bills yet launched in OLIS. But we're getting close. It's within probably a month. We're going to have some information updated to OLIS. We're going to know, what's going to be coming down the pike. And I checked in today about Harney County. I'm waiting to hear back on that because I want to figure out kind of where we're at because we have to be getting close. I mean, I know it's a big decision, but I'm kind of getting anxious, even though I told people that we're going to be patient. I'm really kind of curious. I feel that there's enough eyes on this across the country, especially with what happened with me, last week with the Washington Post, where there's a lot of eyes on this. There's a lot of people that are going to be paying attention to this stuff. And so I'm kind of getting nervous and anxious. And, but as soon as we figure that out, we'll do a video. I talked to our attorney, Tony, and we're going to do a joint video. And so we'll bring it, we'll give you guys notice, and we're going to break it all down, and we're going to say, what this looks like, and what this, hopefully we're all going to celebrate together. That's the goal. But we have to be prepared for worst case scenario. That's everything we do here. Everything we do as gun owners is we're mitigating risk. We're preparing for unforeseen circumstances, and so, worst case scenario is going to appeal. I mean, it's really, in reality, it's going to appeal either way. But I'm hoping it's, them appealing, not us, because we're victorious, and I feel pretty good about it. And so, I feel that our side had a pretty good handle. I feel that their ideas were really tired, and their retreads. Nothing that they brought to the Harney County was original, and it was just the same tired stuff. And so we've had some good rulings since then. Obviously, California's kind of up and down when it comes to the magazine capacity. I feel that, it's just a matter of time. A lot of this stuff, it needs to go all the way to the Supreme Court. I wish that we could get something fast track where we could just put this all the rest and have an actual ruling on an assault weapons ban. I hate that term, assault weapon, but that's what they call it. Assault weapons ban at the national level at or at the Supreme Court. That's what I would love to see, because I feel it would change everything that's happening with the White House. The the gun violence prevention office. It would prevent all that stuff. So that's something that I feel that if we got something that we could rely on that's going to help protect us, I think a lot of the stuff would go away. I really do. I think what they would do is they would change their tactics, and they would most likely they would probably go after the Supreme Court. They would either try to pack the courts, or they would do something to change the network, the framework of the Supreme Court. So 100%. 100%, Kyle. And so the thing I shared yesterday about Hollywood, okay? So I want this on your radar as well. Is Hollywood is the one that's going to be benefiting from the gun prevention violence office, right? The gun violence prevention office. They're going to get so much money because now they have a pipeline where they can interject funding that's going to be taxpayer funding to make all these documentaries, all these things that are designed. They're devoid of all any factual information. They're all designed to appeal to. They're going to have people that dress up. These Hollywood actors. We have to sit back as Americans and look at realities. These people are not factual. These people, they get awards, they get paid to put on a suit and talk with an accent and pretend to be somebody. And so they're not the ones that we should be putting any value into when it comes to our 2A rights. It should be counter that, right? And the best thing that we can do as gun owners is make sure that we obviously we boycott these movies. We do not pay these people salaries. If there's a video that we want to see that comes out, let's make sure that the actor, the head actor, if we're going to go see the video, which I'm very careful about how I interject here. I don't spend my money. I don't support I vote with my principles. And so if there's somebody that is anti-gun, I'm not going to go see their video. I'm flat out going to boycott it. And I think that's what we would send a message, right? The problem with this is they know that their views are down, their clicks are down. And so that's where this, gun violence prevention office is so pivotal, because they're going to inject the money that they're losing because of the woke agenda. And so that's what's going to happen. And so we have to look at this stuff. You got to see the big picture. The big picture here is the people that want to lecture you about you being able to defend yourself with 30-round magazine surround themselves with people with 30-round magazines. And why do they do that? They do that because the 30-round magazine is a very effective tool. And so that's why Hollywood loves the 30-round magazine, when they can profit for it or when it's protecting their homes. Okay. But shame on you for having that same thought. Okay. So, on my business page yesterday, I did like I was talking about the hypocrisy, right? The hypocrisy of this situation is I'm being lectured on how I'm supposed to defend myself and my family, right? Yet I don't have a budget for armed security. Okay. I don't know about you. I don't know. None of us have a budget for armed security like them. And so what they, my view is my budget is for myself. I'm my own armed security. And I know there's so many people out there just like me. And so that's where we have to understand is what's truly at stake here. And so I'm going to go to this one right here. I like this one. This is a great comment. So here's my thing. Okay. So they kept saying here in Oregon about how they want to restrict the ability of adults that are 18 to 21 to buy a rifle. Why don't we apply that to voting? Okay. And the reason I say that is arguably there's been studies that have been done that the human mind isn't fully developed until age 26. And so obviously 18 to 21, that's an arbitrary number. Okay. The problem is you have these people that are being spoon fed this propaganda. And so they believe it as the gospel, and then they go out and vote. Okay. I would argue that these 18-year-old to 21, some of their votes are more dangerous to us as a society than our standard capacity magazine. You can look at what happened with Measure 110, you know, the decriminalizing of most hard drugs. And now they're having a hard stop and they're trying desperately to change tactics. And so, I could we could argue that, maybe we should move the voting age to 21. If these adults can't be trusted with a firearm, how in the heck can we trust them with a vote? And the problem is we have to stop obviously the DMV is registering 16-year-olds to vote at 16 years old, even though they can't vote until they're 18. That should be changed. So that's where we should really be focusing on, is if we're going to make changes here. I did come across something yesterday I want you to be very, very careful of. Okay. I saw it was a link to sign a petition to repeal Measure 110. Okay. And the problem I saw with that is there's no information. It was just click here, enter your information. And it was a way for the people that were behind this petition to gather your signatures, or not necessarily gather your signatures, but um, your information, like your name, your cell phone number, and your email address, so they can target you after the fact and either send you, donation request. I don't know what they would use their information. So be very, very careful of that. You have to understand is people are trying to take advantage of this situation. There's no active campaign to repeal Measure 110. There's nothing that's active in OLIS. It would go through the Secretary of State's office if truly that was going to happen. And so be very wary of that. Be careful where you're putting out your personal information, because other people are going to have access to this and they're going to use it to their advantage. And so, I clicked out of there. I said, this is not legit, and so you just be very, very careful. And, don't give them your information. Okay. They have to work for it. Okay. And my thought is the people that were behind this were the same ones that, walked out for a little bit and then they came back right before the end of the session. Now we have 2002 and we have 2005, so be very, very skeptical of those links. That's my advice for you. And so that's kind of where I'm at. Yep. 100% right here. Let's see who said that. Let me find out who said that. This is a really good thing. Is that because they know the only check and balance they have is the Supreme Court. And here in Oregon we don't have that luxury because it's a very well slanted Supreme Court. And so that's where we have to understand, we have to win in 2024. Like this is probably going to be the most important election of our lifetime. Is we have to be able to make sure that we take the White House. And that, because if we take the White House and then we can, keep the House and maybe pick up the Senate, maybe, if we can get 2 chambers, 2 out of 3, we're going to be in a better spot. If we lose, it's curtains. It really is. You see what's happening on a daily basis. And this is me playing, conspiracy theorist with you, right? This is my opinion. This is from the stuff that I'm seeing. I contribute, what's happening on the college campuses with, the pro-Palestine and the Hamas protests, similar to what happened in 2020. And I really feel that there's a connection there, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to use this emotion, this outrage, to galvanize people, to motivate them ahead of what's going to happen in 2024. I really, really watch this movement very, very closely. Okay. I don't think I'm off here. And if everybody sees that and can agree with that, I would appreciate that, because I don't want to feel like I'm a tin hat kind of guy. But I look at the optics, I look at the image, what was settled out of 2020. Obviously our cities were burning. We had lots of division. There was people that were motivated to get out to vote, so there was a lot of things that were at play there. And I feel that this is kind of a different version of that. That's just what I'm seeing. And that's kind of what I'm feeling in in my heart, and so we have to watch that very, very closely, and it's going to be young college educated people, right? That are in reality, those, we could argue that those probably are the most uneducated in our population, really, because they only believe one way, and so that's why the work that we are doing right now is so important. And so that's kind of where I'm at, yeah, the Hollywood loves guns until it's time for you to actually have one inside your home. I mean, it's so hypocritical. Liam Neeson's one of the worst, and he makes so much money off of guns, yet he can make money in the movie, yet you can't protect yourself and your family. Okay. It's crazy. It is so crazy. I 100%, there is, and I feel that that's why, my blog post last week, it resonated so much with the Washington Post, is because it was independent, right? It was not something that they were used to. It was from the angle of a gun owner, an advocate, and so, that's where I really feel that, yeah, they're threatened by that. They're threatened by people that aren't quote unquote journalists. They're threatened by people that have a microphone like this. They're threatened by people that know how to, read information, put information out. I think they really are. And so, which it's a good thing for all of us, because we're able to see stuff outside of what they want us to see. And so, there's a lot of great YouTubers out there. The problem with the YouTubers is when people put them in the group, and I don't always share them into the group. And the reason I don't do so is because nobody ever watches them. And so, that's, I get more views out of these little chats with you guys than any of the big 100,000, 500,000 subscriber YouTube channels. And maybe it's because you guys trust me and you guys believe in the words that I say, and it gives you guys hope, because that's the whole point of this, is I want to give you guys hope, because without hope, we don't have anything. If without hope, we're hopeless. And I don't feel hopeless at this point. I just want to continue to work forward and fight forward. And I feel that we're turning a corner, and we're becoming more effective advocates. And that's what's going to happen, So I totally believe that state sponsored media is going to be the downfall. And the one thing that I am noticing is it doesn't have the credibility that it used to. There used to be journalists that you look at, Walter Cronkite, you look at all these old school guys, Dan Rathers before he totally sold out, these guys, put a lot of time and effort and energy in bringing stuff that was factual, truthful. It wasn't opinion based. And that's why they were successful. It's once they kind of went off that rail, that's where they kind of, they lost their audiences, so, that's the thing, is these people right here, they do not speak for us. Hollywood lives in a bubble. Okay. They have armed security. Inflation doesn't affect them. They're pro electric vehicles because they can afford electric vehicles. They don't understand how, oil is a good thing for the country. And obviously I'm going a little bit off the rails here, but I'm just trying to talk about, their thought process here. And, they would rather see you be unarmed and disarmed than give you the ability to defend yourself, all while making money off these types of movies. And so it's just something we have to be aware of. Teresa, no, no, no. I have seen what Vivek has said about requiring a test. The problem I have with requiring a test is how many of these people don't even know how to take a test. And how many of these people are using AI to form their opinions? How many of these people are only identifying with this, anti-gun sentiment is because they're being told to do so? And so I don't know what that looks like. I just feel that if an 18 to 21-year-old cannot have a rifle, they should not be able to have the ability to vote. Okay. Both are dangerous. Okay. I would argue that my rifle is a little bit safer than voting. So that is really, really scary. That is really, really scary. Um, The Swifties, the Swifties. You know why? Is because she is very left, very, very left, and so that that's scary. That's scary. I don't know who put this comment in here. I wonder if that's Kyle. Put that in, but we need to educate your coworkers, okay? And the way we do it, right? And this is kind of my view is the reason the way we do it is we talk about individualism. We talk about individual rights. We talk about, freedom. We talk about, because that's something that appeals with everybody, right? Like you don't go to China and talk about liberty and freedom. You talk about that here. And so my I guess my response to the people that would vote because of the way Taylor Swift tells them to vote is, would Taylor Swift go to China and tell the Chinese to do that? No, she would not. Would she go to Cuba, do that? No, she would not. Yeah, so our greatest bastion currently here in the world is America. And so, we have to start thinking logically. We have to, take the emotion out of this conversation. We have to deal with facts. We have to deal with logic. We have to deal, if we can have a debate in a way where it's factual information, we can keep our calm and our cool. That's how we're going to convert, because none of their stuff makes sense. Like the video that I shared yesterday, that was from, I forget her, Gretchen Carlson. So she's got a huge following. Like she used to be on Fox News until she sold out, and now she's doing that stuff. So that's a problem. Is she is now this trusted source, right? Because the people are experienced and are familiar with her. And now when she cites data, like that data was so old, like if you caught one part of it, she talks about closets and cabinets. I don't know about how many of you, I don't keep my guns in a closet or in a cabinet. Okay. That tells me right there that she has no idea what the average gun owner deals with when it comes to having a rifle inside of their home. Okay. It is just a junk video that I was able to kind of make fun of her and make her look at her glasses. I don't know what those were. Is she going mountaineering? I didn't get that. I really like the 70s, vibe music that I put in there. That was hilarious. So I'll do more of that. It's just it was bad. It was hard to watch, but the problem is it it resonates with those people that they don't want to do the research. So that's the thing. You just got a new M1A. That's cool. That's a cool rifle. And that's what the thing is. I just want to be left alone. I want to be able to collect whatever I want to collect. I want to have what I want to have. My guns are not being used to commission a gun crime, so please leave me alone. Let me do what I do. And so M1A, that's a really cool one. Let's see, soapbox. Who's this? The soapbox. I don't know who this is because I'm looking on a different thing. This right here is the $1,000,000 comment right here. Okay. I didn't get my way, so I'm going to stay home and give my neighbors, my friends, my family members Measure 110, a Democrat, Tina Kotek, governor, and Measure 114. I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go home. I'm going to sit out because I did not get my way. And so that's the problem, is we have to think about the legacy that we're leaving for our kids. We cannot take too much more loss here in Oregon. Okay. So what we have to do is, under the greater good of the state, means I think about the future, not myself. Okay. What I mean by that is there's no such thing as the perfect candidate, but there is such thing as a candidate that can win. I've been saying this for a very, very long time. And I really, really appreciate this stuff. The left does not care about anything but winning. And until we realize that, we're never ever going to win. Okay. And if we do not have candidates that run for office that want to win, we are never going to win. Okay. And when I talk about candidates that want to win, that means not doing the same thing every time. Okay. I'm going to get off my soapbox. Okay. But this is a really, really great comment. And thank you. I hope, was that Kyle? Kyle, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So I hope I taught you something. So that's the thing, is there's no such thing as a perfect candidate. There's only a candidate that can win. And we got to look at the polling. We got to look at, we got to do better. We got to show up. Our voices do matter if we show up. It's the only way we're going to change this stuff. Okay. Um, nope, not going to do it, Teresa. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and, and that's with, very few actual public events. A lot of the campaign was done from the basement. I understand why. So oh man, we cannot. Can't stress this enough. We cannot have that happen again. Um, right here, it's all about money. Everything is about money. It is. It is. It is gross. And the problem is, it makes all of us vulnerable. It's that money that's being spent. It's being taken from us by the barrel of a gun in form of taxes, and then it's being diverted to a gun violence prevention office, and then it's getting sent to Hollywood so they can do all these great documentaries and these great infomercials. And what they'll do is they'll recruit the people that they already have in place that send the emails through Moms Demand Action. So now what they'll do is the people, and I'm not trying to minimize their loss. I'm not trying to be heartless here, but that's what they do. Is they're going to put these people up front that have lost people in their lives, which I don't want to see anybody lose their lives. That's not what I'm saying here, but it's the emotional aspect that they bring to this situation, and that's why they continue to just move the ball on us, and that's why they win. And so it's all about money. It's not about safety, because if it was about safety, we'd be talking about gun-free zones. We'd be disbarring those. We'd be making sure they go away, because that's where most of the stuff happens, is gun-free zones. We'd be incentivizing training. We'd be making it easy for people to actually buy firearms, because there have been studies that the most law-abiding part of our society are the people with concealed handgun license, because we commit less crimes than law enforcement, and so just something to think about, and so this stuff is truly not about the safety of the public. This is about virtue signaling. This is about making a utopia for them, that they feel that they're going to be successful. But look at the utopia. Look at LA. I watched a YouTube video this morning about, from what's his name, Mike Glover. I really like Mike Glover. And so they did one where they're with Jack Osborne, Ozzy Osbourne's son, and they're in downtown LA, and they're looking at all the homeless. That's their utopia. That's where they live. Okay. That's where all their policies are implemented. And is it working? Nope. It's never going to work. And it's going to make me feel better, because I'm in my gated mansion up on the hill with my armed security. I did my part. That's what it is. I signals the greatest virtue out there. So just something to all be aware of. So, that's where, it's sad. So other than that, how are we feeling? Did you guys take anything from this video? I hope. And what do we need to do to get ready for the next session? I guess I'll leave it in the comments. What do you feel that you need to be more effective at what we're trying to do here? Is there some more training opportunities that you would like? I would love to figure out a way to, we can show you how to use the AI. I mean, do we want to do some workshops? What would benefit our people here? I guess that's where I'll go, is, what can we use to our advantage? And so I've had some really good conversations with people as of late. There's a lot of people coming out of the woodwork that I feel that have really good ideas. They have a good grasp of the issues that we face here in the state and across the country. So that gives me a lot of hope. And so it seems like people that are, becoming a little bit more vocal on things are really, really, it's refreshing to see. And I want to encourage you guys to keep doing it. And I'll try to make sure that if you guys have posts, I'll put them in the group. I try not to. I don't want to really overwhelm the group. I want to say, if we could stay under 5 posts, 5 to 6, 5 to 7 posts a day, okay, where we put out information 5 to 7 times per day. I think that would be a good way to educate the public, right? So if you find something, submit it, okay, and I feel that that's something that we should be doing. Let's see, Teresa, where'd you get that number? 2.2 million gun owners. I'd love to see that number. Is that from that that study that I cited last week or the week before? Yeah, because I don't think that's it. That, and one thing I want to talk about that number is that number, it might be a little bit off because that's an older study, and there's been a lot of people that have left the state. So I struggle. I don't think it's that high. I'd have to look at our state population and kind of do a, yeah, please let me know. Let me know and just tag me or put it in here, so I can see the data, because I think that 2.2, I'd love 2.2, that number, but I think that's a little high. And so, I just want to make sure that the stuff that we do put out, because a lot of stuff, people are taking this stuff as really factual information. So that's where I try to be really, really careful. If there's something that I put out that it's not accurate and somebody brings me supporting evidence, I make sure that I take it down. I never, I want to be this trusted resource for you. I want all of us as this group to be a trusted resource. And so if there's something that's not accurate, I try to clean it up as best we can. So it doesn't look bad on us, because everything we try to do is, yeah, no worries, Teresa. I want to bring it up for conversation, kind of, touch base on the view that I have here for us. There's other groups here in Oregon, Facebook groups. Some are really good. Some kind of missed the mark, and I- I'm very proud of the work that we've done here in this group. And I feel that this is probably one of the most effective groups in the state of Oregon when it comes to gun rights. And so I'm really, really proud of our efforts here. And so I want to make sure that we hold ourselves to a higher standard, and so one thing I want to talk about too is the flag. Okay. So the new logo that I just submitted the other day, which you guys liked, I really, really appreciate it. I put some time into that. Is There was a comment that came up where there is a code in Oregon Revised Statute says improper use of the state logo and the state seal. I talked to others in the group that are in the management here, and we're not trying to profit off this, and so that's why we kept it the way it is. And we're not trying to disparage the state of Oregon in any way. We're just trying to kind of update the logo. The whole come and take it thing, it serves a purpose, but in this situation where we're trying to turn the corner and go in a more positive and professional manner when it comes to Oregon gun rights, that's where we wanted to make a change. And so that's what that logo reflects. And so that's kind of my thoughts. I wanted to kind of get it out here, and so we know, you kind of know the thought process on why we're going to leave it the way it is. And so, all of us were in agreement that it didn't violate anything. It was kind of we're just not going to ask for permission. We're just going to do what we do because this is a social media group, and it is what it is. Okay. So I hope you guys understand. And so, and it's not because we're trying to, do anything negative. It's just, we like the logo. It's fitting. It's professional. That's where we're going with it. So I guess that's all I want to kind of touch base on that. So other than that, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you know how to get a hold of me. And, think about the next week or so, a week and a half, is think about the tools that you need to be more successful. Okay. And remember, like the oldest videos that I did, like I can totally do these videos and I can put them here for you guys. Like, I could show you how to edit a video. I could show you how to, you know, yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Teresa. Have a great day. And if that's something that's going to be helpful for you guys, please let me know. And whatever I can do to help weaponize you guys, so you guys are going to be a benefit. And we also should be looking what happened just in Tennessee as well. Tennessee just had a really big gun ban that they stopped. So there's stuff that we can watch all across the country that has an impact here, because one thing we have to realize is the anti-gunners, they share the same playbook. They do the same thing. And so there's nothing new. And you'll notice that the other side, the anti-gun movement, they've actually pivoted because of the stuff that happened here in Oregon. And so it used to be everything was grandfathered in, right? That was the big common thing, is if you had your doctor, you could keep your doctor. Like, remember that from 2010, right? Um, everything was grandfathered in. They've changed that. So now, because of Oregon, what Oregon's done, it's now that we're the first one that actually made it a criminal penalty to have a 30-round magazine, or a 17-round magazine, or a magazine that had a detachable base plate. And so that's kind of what they've done to kind of pivot. And so, they all share the same play. And so that's kind of the thing. Why you always got to ruin my buzz there, Kyle? Oh yeah, we got like McConnell's the worst. Like I hope he stays in office, just or they have somebody that can replace him. It's just he's bad. He is one of those guys that has really profited off his position, right? Him and Nancy Pelosi. So ugh, gross. So other than that, I'm going to get off here, you guys. I got work to do, and I bet you guys do as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. Think about what you need from me that can make you guys, more effective in your circles, and let's put it together. Oh, 100%, Kyle. Yeah, you're 100% correct. There's always somebody worse. Look at AOC. I don't even know. Like, the funny part about AOC is how much heat she's getting from her constituents because of her position on the border. I mean, they're literally rioting. She can't even go out in public now. But is she going to keep her seat? Like, I really think that she will, because she's that piped in. That's the scary part, is this lady is she's devoid of any basic skill. I mean, she was a barista. She was a barista at Starbucks that got put into office in New York State, and now she's really, really powerful. It's wild. So yeah, it can happen here. It can happen anywhere. That's the problem. So that's about all. I'm going to close on that. You guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys had a great day. And keep me posted if there's anything you guys need. As soon as I hear anything from Harney County, what we're going to do is I will submit a post saying we have a ruling, okay? And then we will follow up with a live stream. I will try to give everybody notice, but as soon as we see that, we are going to blast it out. Hopefully it's going to be in our favor, and we're going to celebrate. We're going to party like it's 1999. But either way, we're going to be prepared for no matter what happens. So that's what's going to happen. So we'll do a post, and then we'll follow up with a live stream with Anthony, and we'll break it down, and we'll go through, what it looks like for us. And so, fingers crossed, say your prayers, and let's go. So other than that, I'm gonna get off here. You guys have a great day, and thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Have a good day.